Alright guys, welcome back to a One Piece chapter reaction. Um, we have a chapter this week, and we have a chapter next week. Well, how about that, folks? So, very exciting. We are on chapter, I believe, 1160. Wait, we don't have a chapter next week. I'm tripping. Did we get 3 chapters in a row then? Did we get a chapter last week and the week before? We did! This is the 3rd chapter, 3rd week in a row. That's crazy. So next week we have a break. Ow! But it's not the last chapter of the year. There's going to be one more chapter this year, which I won't be able to record here actually, because it's going to come out after the break. So let me look at my calendar real quick. So there's no chapter coming this week, this Sunday, this break. Next chapter I'll be traveling somewhere, but I might be able to record a chapter. If not, worst case scenario, I'll be delayed by like 3 weeks, in 2 weeks. 2 weeks actually. Wait, 2 weeks or 3 weeks? 2 weeks. I'll be delayed in reading chapter 2 weeks. It's not that bad, but it's a bit. So I'll try to record during the travel. I think I should be able to for you all. So hopefully at least. So yeah, that's crazy. So we're in chapter 1168. And I just got a message. I was going to start this video like 10 minutes earlier, but I just got a message from my aunt in... okay, so me and my family have a family group chat on WhatsApp. My mom's side of the family, I should specify. My dad's side of the family has no such thing. I mean, if we did, I did invite it. That would be crazy if we didn't. But my mom's side of the family has a family group chat. My mom's side of the family is very tight-knit. So all my cousins, my mom's side of the family are all pretty tight-knit with each other and with us, even though we've all lived pretty far apart for most of our lives. So the interaction hasn't been heavy. But yeah, my aunt just sent a message about how her son, or one of her sons, she has several sons, and a daughter. She used to have another daughter, but I think I've told you guys this story before, but yeah. Let's just say she's no longer here. And then another cousin of ours that's not her son but her nephew, but it's also not my brother. So like I have okay, on my mom's side of the family I have 2 aunts and 3 uncles. Okay, so my mom's family is 6 children in total, so I have a lot of cousins. Okay, so one of the sons from one of my aunts and another son from another one of my aunts, or my second aunt, the 2 aunts that the 2 sisters my brother have, they work together, so they go together in the same workplace, right? And it's kind of like manual labor type of thing that they're doing. And they're both younger than me, if you're wondering. My mom is the oldest of the 3 sisters. She's the second oldest overall and the oldest of the sisters. So, her sons are both younger than me. Not necessarily all of her sons are younger than me, but her son and my other aunt's son are both younger than me. They're like 18 and 19-year-olds or something now. But that's not the point. Just to give you guys context. But they work in like this manual labor job, and you know, they live in a area of the country which is like more dangerous in a sense. So my aunt would always tell them, "Yo, make sure you keep your phone in the backpack, not in your pocket, because if you keep it in your pocket, it's more likely to be stolen or something, right?" So what ended up happening is they were met up with a drunk guy. She just told the story. She met up with this drunk guy who was like being weird with them, talking to them. He's like a bit pushy with them, and they're both confused, like what's going on, what the heck, right? And both of them are kind of like the guy was older than them, but also both of my cousins are kind of skinny guys. Like they're not physically threatening, and I think that guy saw it as an opportunity, to say the least, right? They don't look like threatening guys. So some other guy came in on a like taxi type of car. I'm not joking. Came with a taxi and drove over them, all 3 of them. Okay? I know that sounds crazy, but they were not injured. He drove pretty slowly, just slowly enough to like hit them, but not enough to actually injure them. So they walk out unscathed. They're not injured at all. But the thing that happened is one of my cousins, or her son, got his phone stolen from him during that event, because in some event they got hit by the car and then the phone fell out or something, or the guy driving the car managed to steal the phone and drive away with it. And then the other guy, the drunk guy who was standing with him, who also got hit, it seems he got in the vehicle with the driver. So it seems like they were working together, trying to find their victims, trying to see if they have phones in their pockets and steal from them. So basically, the message is watch out when you're in public, especially if you live in a dangerous area like my cousins do. Now, I don't live in a dangerous area that is extremely likely to happen where I live. But yeah, me and my cousins live very far apart. We have done this for most of our lives. So, um, yeah. So I guess the message of the day is to be safe out there, y'all. And let's get into One Piece now. So, um, last chapter we had Harald becoming a bootlicker. I mean, he's been being a bootlicker for decades now in the One Piece verse and for many chapters. But the last chapter he was a real bootlicker. He's fully sucking up the world government and all. And we had one of my favorite things, Saint Shanks, right after getting scarred up by Blackbeard. As part of the lower or devoted blades, where they're not actually part of the official gods night, like the upper gods nights. So I don't think, and the Gorosei that have immortality and stuff. I mean, the Gorosei is like the ultimate, the pinnacle it can be, other than Emu. So yeah, we had that whole thing going on. We also got to see Shanks, helping out Fisher Tiger with, saving the, saving the slaves, and we got a little bit of a Neptune action with Harald as well, discussing Neptune giving he's gonna have a daughter in a couple of years, according to the fortune teller, all of that. So that's pretty nice. Interesting is that they had like a little bit of a, they were on friendly terms, those two. Good to see a little discussion there, and also Saul. We got to see Saul being brought to Elbaf to build a school by Harald, which was awesome as well. And the only other thing to talk about from last chapter is Ida being really sick. She was poisoned by the people of Estrid's village, or I guess you're gonna call it a village. Yeah, the village where Estrid came from, and obviously Loki, technically came from there because that's where his mom is from. And those people poisoned her. And yeah, she's sick and she's going to die soon. And Loki, with the little crash out at the end, saying that she's the only mother he has, that was extremely wholesome. You can tell he cares a lot about her, even though she's not his biological mother, but she cared for him like a mother. You can tell she was a really kind woman and cared for Loki like he really was her son, even though she was the one that got the short end of the stick, right? Because Harald wanted to marry Ida after all, right? Ida. Why am I calling her Ida? Ida. Even in Norwegian, it doesn't make sense to call her Ida. Ida. Harald wanted to marry her and all, but I guess Elbaf politics and all made him have to get married to Estrid, which obviously is Loki's mother. But Estrid never showed him love because of his demonic eyes, right? But Ida cared for him like he was her own son, and kind of like a Kuma type of situation, right? Where Kuma never actually got to marry Ginny and have any children with her, but he still cared for after she was gone. He still cared for Bonnie as if she was his own daughter, right? He promised her in her afterlife that I will take care of Bonnie. So we got that, and the crash out was the last thing that happened last chapter, right? So chapter 1168, that's the current chapter. Let's get into it. I'm assuming we have a reader request, right? Unless you have a cover. I have a color page, so we probably have a reader request. And we do indeed have a reader request. We see Hachi. Ooh, okay. The chapter is called The Snows of Elbaf. I don't know if I read out the last chapter's name, but it's Ida's sons. The Snows of Elbaf. So it's winter time in Elbaf now. Fits with real life, to be fair, because in real life it's not necessarily snowy. Even in Norway, it's not. Believe it or not. I mean, global warming has hit us hard, but it fits with the winter time, right? It's December, coming to Christmas. Or I guess Oda's sensing that okay, this chapter's release is gonna be around December time. It's snowing, and you can see Hachi shoveling, I guess, shoveling snow. I mean, he's got 6 arms. He's gonna help. He's gonna be extremely helpful shoveling snow because he can shovel snow 3 times as fast as a normal human being. I say normal human being, as a non-fisherman human being. Doesn't mean fishermen are not normal beings. They're in the world of One Piece. No racism, right? Like they're allowed to be there. You know. They're valid, right? They're equally humans and equally alive beings like the rest of us. Uh, More importantly, on his shirt it says 8 and it says takoyaki, which is 8. But takoyaki is also like, I mean, Hachi's a squid fish or an octopus. And takoyaki, you do that with an octopus, right? Octopus, you eat takoyaki, that's octopus, right? So I don't know. He's wearing a shirt that's kind of like that's about him being eaten. It's like me wearing a shirt that says cannibalism food or something, or like saying like I'm edible. Like what? Like he's wearing a shirt about octopus foods. The takoyaki, it's an octopus food, and he's an octopus. That's kind of funny. But he's there with a bunch of what are those sheep? I guess they look like sheep, black sheep. I'm not gonna be racist, but I've never seen sheep that black. Or are they wearing like? It looks like they're giving him gloves because it's cold, right? Are they wearing like head gloves? Is that why the sheep are that black? Or is Oda just going for the opposite racism thing and saying, "Hey, what's wrong? Why can't sheep be black?" And yeah, they're giving him gloves, or at least one of the sheep are giving him gloves, and they're preparing coffee for him. The gloves bag that the bag that has gloves in it that they're giving to Hachi says thank you. I guess they're thankful for him for helping them shovel snow. And there's kind of like a cabin in the background, a bunch of snow everywhere. It's a wholesome thing, and Hachi seems to be thankful that they're giving him gloves. He's very happy to be shoveling the snow, it seems like. So the reader request, okay, what does the reader request say? Reader request, a family of sheep knitting Hachan 6 gloves by Miss Fuji. Okay, so they knit it for him. Okay, and also give him coffee. Cool, wholesome. All right, let's get to the chapter. That same year, 15 years ago, around the world. So this is 5 years after he talked to Neptune, right? It's the same year Loki was crashed out, and Ida, I think, is gonna die any second now. And beyond just that, yeah, Shirahoshi's now a 1-year-old, and Luffy should now be a 4-year-old. So 3 years before. No wait, yes. Three years before Shanks, I guess, leaves the God's Knights and becomes a full pirate with Ben Beckman in them and Lucky Roo, and meets up with Luffy in Fuchsia Village. We'll see how that ends up happening, hopefully. But okay, around the world, they're saying those giants in the Navy played a crucial role once again. That's so great to hear. I used to think they were scary. Now I wish I could meet one someday. Hey, look at that! Harold is spreading that positive propaganda about giants. Is there any way to get more shipped here? Folks can't get enough of that Elbaf seafood. Yeah, I bet. Okay, look at that. The positive vibes of Elbaf are spreading, and obviously Morgan's the newspaper company, they're supporting it. And obviously, considering that giants are helping the world government now, the world government benefits from spreading positive propaganda because it makes giants want to help the world government more. So this is good for the world government too. They don't, EU wouldn't want to go against this. Good Albaf Cedar. Is that how that's pronounced? Probably not. Maybe Cedar, but I'm gonna go with Cedar. Cedar for now. It's quality stuff. Too bad it's so hard to ship. Sold. Okay. Albaf Lure, okay? Harald, King Harald. And once our dream of being a part of the world government comes true, I think that we should build a cruise ship so that we can travel freely to our fellow nations. Okay, that's Harald's dream. To the rest of the world, we are just a very curious minority. See, this is what Ida, inspired in Harald. This all stemmed from Ida, right? Her talking to him and convincing him otherwise that humans are not these people to scare off like he used to be doing, right? There are so many different peoples in so many different countries. Ooh, yes, there are. They each have cultures worthy of respect, and as we come into contact with them, Albaf will gain more friends and more wisdom. I can't wait! We're almost there, my countrymen. Our future is bright. Guess the worry business is dead. I will see it through, Ida. The walrus school. Yeah, look at the children, having fun at school. No more warrior giant children. There can be normal school kids, right? This is thanks to you, Saul. A lot more healthy kids swinging swords. Did it? Don't it scare ya thinking about what you're losing, Harold? I no longer think of military might as our national strength. Ida taught me everything I know. The fact that I met her is my lifelong treasure. Rest in peace, Ida. Rest in peace. Hey, Harold. You've really changed. When I first came here, I was terrified of all the civil wars, but you've changed this country bit by bit. Children studying hard, bright and cheerful laughter. It's like a different country completely. Old practices, strange customs. We ought to throw out all the bad habits of our warrior past. Really? But I like warrior's pride. I think it's cool. You have to treasure your culture. See, that's an very important point Ida brings up here. When she was talking to Harold and trying to, tell him, hey, we don't need to be these monsters. She wasn't saying to completely throw away that warrior's pride, that warrior's culture, and all that away completely, and throw away the strange habits that he's talking about. They can be there. We can just adjust. We can have healthy, educated children while also maintaining that warrior's pride. What's wrong with wanting to be a warrior, wanting to be a strong warrior? I mean, that inspired Usopp and Luffy, right? That's a good thing still. That's right. Why do we have to lose that? We can still have strong warrior kids while also having them be educated and intelligent and not just these ruthless monsters that the entire rest of the world has to be scared of or terrified of, right? So Ida brings up a very important point here. She wasn't trying to convince him to change the country completely and destroy all habits. She was just saying to, change some policies a little bit, try and, again, influence a positive propaganda in Elbaf. But like, you still should retain the culture. That's still giant culture to be these warriors, right? So it does make it her sad that we're losing a little bit of what we used to be. We shouldn't throw it away completely. We shouldn't. Okay, the point is we shouldn't throw away the positive sides of the warrior culture, of the warrior pride that we used to have. We should just make away with the negatives, right? The way we terrified humans, the way we made everyone scared of us and became this isolated type of country. Well, what about the fact that you and I weren't allowed to marry? I've never gotten over that. You told them you wanted to make me your true wife, didn't you? That's so sweet of you. You're my big sweetie. What about Loki? He'll be Harden's little brother. How's that? To me, that's what he's always been. Yeah? Just hearing that from you will keep me fed for months. But really, I don't mind. You're everyone's king, Harold, not just mine. Dude, Ida's awesome, bro. She's such a good person. We're almost there, aren't we? That's right, Ida. Very soon, we'll be connected to the rest of the world, and our world will grow to be millions of times larger than before. Then we'll do what we used to do. And go traveling all over. I don't think she'll be able to do that no more, big man. That sounds fantastic. I can't wait. Neither can I. Oh! She lets go of her grip. And he's gone out crying. Howard's thrown in. Yeah, she's dead. Howard's crying. Loki's obviously imprisoned after what he did last chapter. It's depressing. That is really sad. 14 years ago, Sacred Marriages. 1 year later, Shanks has gone missing. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, Shanks is a rat. Of course he's gone missing. So Shanks, okay, 14 years ago. Let me think. Luffy was 5 years old. So by this point, Shanks left and started his own crew. 2 years after this, he meets Luffy. Okay. Yes, and once his current mission was complete, he was on track to be made a full-fledged knight. As his backup, this means you have a golden opportunity. Will you take it? Of course, I want to join the Knights of God. It means that Elbaf will be allowed to join the government. Okay. It's an interesting thing Harald says. I wonder if it... Nah, actually, let's see it. Let's see, because that's not... That doesn't make sense. Yeah, okay. Congratulations. The Great One trusts you, they say. What a long haul it's been. And now you will be known as the king who changed Elbaf's history forever. Actually, says Harald, on the day that... Ooh! They're walking to the throne room! Ooh! On the day that Elbaf is entered into the world government, I plan to abdicate the throne. Someone younger and purer deserves to be your new king. That is for Mood to decide. Dun, 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 dun. Big. I was gonna say big boy emu, but it could be big girl emo. We don't know their gender still, but dun, 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 emu. Why is someone sitting on the empty throne? Harald is so confused. Come closer. I have been watching thee, Harald. Dun, 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 dun. Man, Saturn was still alive at this point. That's really funny. 14 whole years ago. Ah! Well, the strength. Ooh! Shh. Ooh, Harald became demonized. So I guess this must have been what happened to Harald when he died. Mu must have taken over his body, kind of like rocks, and then made him die. It's rippling through me. It's almost frightening. It's kind of like the world government symbol, but with a circle, and then he added an extra little like bow at the top, like type of thing. And now he is immortal. Ooh, okay, so they're just... Okay, they're saying he has a golden opportunity, but so I thought he needed to do an extra mission or whatever. Nope, they've just straight up made him immortal, and straight up just, you know, just, I guess he's entered the Knights of God. I guess he's official now. He's not just a devoted blade, he's a God Knight. Because he's been given immortality. It chills the spine. He's more than a monster. At this point, he's a weapon. Now, at long last, thou art an undying knight in service to Mu. Undying? It still doesn't feel real. Thou wilt create an abyss on Elbaf. That will be the bond to us. An abyss? And when thou hast completed the final duty after that, thy wish will be granted. Elbaf will be welcomed among the world government's member nations, says Emu. So, he says create an abyss on Elbaf. Does Emu plan to Lucia Elbaf? And does he not succeed because Elbaf does something to prevent that from happening? And Emu in retaliation kills Harald? Is it something like that? That's the case? Let's have a toast, says Harald. Welcome home, King Harald. Oh, Harald, he's done something. Aurus Castle. Huh? What did you just say? Oh, great Emu. Use the entire country to form an army of warriors. Yeah, see? See, so it backfired in the end. You could become a warrior country anyway. So using these transportation circles to communicate. Thou wilt build a giant fleet to rival the navy, and act for the benefit of the world. That is why. That is thy. But wait, no, stop. I've been doing all of this to help Elbaf escape this cycle of fighting. Of course, I have always intended to allow those who wish to enlist in the navy to do so, but not like this. Who's His Majesty talking to in there? They're both hella confused. Those sets history will be atoned for. Those sets thou wilt be a slave. Yes, but only myself. History is not so light that it can be shouldered by thee alone. Do not speak back. Thou canst not disobey Mu. Those who have accepted the Death's Covenant are given immortality and strength, but must obey orders in return. Think what thou wilt. I will have my way. Huh? I can't stop. I'm being controlled and Elbaf with me. I'm being controlled and Elbaf with me. There was never any intent to bring us into the circle of the world. Damn you, Emu! Okay, so he's being controlled. He can't move himself. So okay, that's kind of what I expected, right? That's how he ends up dying. Guards, to arms! Were you planning to make the words of Elbaf your slaves? What is it, your majesty? Is someone in there? In here? Bring chains! Tie me to this pillar! Huh? Act quickly! Call Chief Jarul and my sons! I'm pretty sure Harudin is out at sea right now. And Prince Loki is still in a cell for that thing he did. I cannot resist. What's the matter, your majesty? Just release him! So this is how Loki ends up killing Harald, because Harald kills these guards. Loki sees him up there. Harald probably tells him to kill him, and then that's where the confusion comes from, and that's why Loki's been blamed for everything. Bro, Loki's awesome, man. Underworld holding cells. You're freed, Loki. Report to Auror's castle immediately. The king calls for you. Jarul's house. Urgently? Just a moment. What could it be? But now, let us return to the story. On this day, there was a terrible massacre inside the castle, and the most beloved ruler in the history of Elbaf, wise King Harald, perished. Yeah, because Loki, I'm assuming Loki was forced to kill him, because they say he killed his own dad. I'm pretty sure Loki's forced to kill him. And that's the end of the chapter, y'all. Not quite as hype as last chapter with the whole Saint Shank stuff, right? But that was still a very good chapter, continuing on the story. Other than Harald becoming immortal stuff, fairly predictable chapter, more or less, right? We got to see Ida dying. We got to see how that went. We got to see how Harald became immortal. From there on, makes sense that Ymir would want to make giant slaves and take over Harald to do all that. And then next chapter is probably going to be fairly predictable in the sense that okay, Loki's going to kill Harald, and that's why he becomes the fallen prince or whatever, right? That's why everyone in the country hates him now. He's been blamed for all of it. And man, I just love Loki. So yeah, fairly predictable chapter, I would say. Ida's death was very sad. But yeah, beyond that, and yeah, obviously Shanks escaping, or whatever you want to call it, just, he didn't want to be part of the God's Knights no more. He didn't want to become immortal, right? So he just pieced out of there. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of the chapter. It was an okay chapter. Like I said, predictable for the most part. Some things in there were cool, but yeah, I don't have much else to add to it. So I'll see you guys during my travels in 2 weeks' time, because there's no chapter this week, this upcoming. I mean, I'm uploading this day on Monday, or yeah. But actually, maybe I can't. I'll have to upload this tomorrow, because I think I've already uploaded a video today. So this is gonna come out tomorrow on Tuesday. But I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this, at least as much as I enjoyed. Yeah, I've already uploaded a video today. So this is gonna come out tomorrow. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this at least as much as I enjoyed reading this chapter. And I'll see you guys here in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully I can make the video with my travels. If not, worst case scenario, it'll come out after. So, yeah. See you guys then. Alright, One Piece fans. Yeah. Peace.